after.
Share your screen with your audience. Oh, are we on right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're live. Nice. Yo, 9 people in here. Oh, we lost someone. 8. Hello, everyone. Can you hear our voices? Is that the? I don't know. Yeah, showing volume. Yeah.
Maybe leave a comment if you can hear it. It's weird to see from this point of view.
I know.
Like the back end.
Yeah, I didn't think. Okay, wait. It just restarted. I'll see if I'll text my dad. See if. Oh yeah. Oh, there's someone. Hi, Scott. There we go. So I think what I'll do is just wait a few minutes to see if we have any stragglers rolling in. For anyone who's waiting here, I want to say thank you. You're a real one for that. We're losing people quick though.
Do you want me to post on my story to tell people you're doing this?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That would be cool.
The link.
Yeah. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday evening. Duggar Adventures, hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Like is the video and the audio okay? I'm just gonna keep talking here. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, right on.
Copy.
Audio is good. Perfect. I'm doing well. Welcome everyone. It's nice to see some faces in here. I wasn't sure like what the turnout was gonna be like for this.
I'm gonna take a photo.
Oh yeah. But just do a selfie of us.
Okay.
This is my beautiful girlfriend Petra. She's gonna be hanging out as well.
Unofficial moderator.
Unofficial moderator. She's here for moral support. And
Come on.
Oh. Yeah, perfect.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna post that.
Right on. Oh, someone said, who's the musician? It's definitely her. I play guitar, but not anywhere near as talented as her. And she's actually a real musician with real music out on all streaming platforms.
Oh my God.
Actually, I'm going to put in the chat. Go follow Petra.
Wow. This is not my live stream. This is your live
stream.
I
know, but you're here, so.
Anyone wants.
I'm going to say hello and welcome. Everyone go follow. It's Petra.
Wow.
For awesome music.
How's this?
Yeah, that's perfect. Nice.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so as I'm sure you can already tell, this is a very casual hangout. I'm just kind of shooting the shit. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't swear. Whatever. I don't think that's okay. This is my live stream. Yeah. Petra played in one of my videos. We were out camping on that island, and Pay played a Fleetwood Mac song in the canoe. That was such a fun time.
I did. I was actually talking about that today with some people.
Yeah. Oh, Lower Michigan. How's it going? Right on. Yeah. Lower Michigan Adventures has always done a lot to support the channel. Always giving reposts and stuff. So thank you for that. Yeah. So we may as well dive into a couple questions here that I got. I got a bunch of responses on that story that I posted the other day. Just asking. Oh, my dad said my mom's listening. Yeah, okay, keep it clean. But yeah, I got a bunch of responses of discussion topics and different questions that people had. A lot of them were kind of along the lines of like what I do or how I plan for trips, like what goes into like planning a canoe trip or anything like that. So try my best to give you a little breakdown. Let's see here. Yeah, like when I start, oh gosh. See, I feel like there's like a lot of moving parts that go into planning a canoe trip. I think like the first thing, oh yeah, here's another. Yeah, Wesley's wondering like how to plan it as stress free as possible. The I love that question. I am definitely not the expert at planning it to be stress free. I think like I hate to say it, but almost every big canoe trip that I've gone on, I have like barely slept the night before, and it's not from like yeah, there's a little bit of stress. It's mostly excitement, but there's just I feel like there's always so much on my mind going into a big canoe trip. Just I think the biggest reoccurring thought is like, oh, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. So I think it's super important to keep a to-do list or sorry, an item list. And so as you're packing, you can check off items and stuff like that. But the stress-free part usually comes within the first day of paddling, or as soon as you get that tent set up at your campsite, and then you can kind of breathe and be like, well, if I've forgotten anything, it doesn't matter now because I'm out here. Hopefully it's nothing too essential. But yeah, I think the trip planning process starts off with finding a route, like finding a place that you want to go to. Um, I I hear about routes and read about routes in all kinds of different places. I think one of the biggest ones for me is just seeing what other people are doing on YouTube. I'm a big fan of the videos. Like even though I make YouTube videos, the only reason I do that is because I'm so inspired by other people who go out there and film themselves doing awesome trips. So a lot of times I'll see like an area that someone's going to and be like, whoa, I want to go check that out. I want to go see that for myself. There's a lot of amazing like canoe route books out there, guidebooks and stuff like that. Like I'm sure most people have heard of Kevin Callan. He's documented a ton of like the best canoe routes in Ontario. So I have a few of his books now. I have his Lost Canoe Routes book. I have his Algonquin book, and I think I have one more. But he's kind of like the king and when it comes to canoe routes and stuff like that. So definitely, if you're trying to figure out where to even start, go check out one of his books. And he's just an awesome dude as well. Like, don't I'm not saying you should reach out to him personally. Definitely go buy his books, but I've heard that the word on the street is that if you send him a message, he'll get back to you pretty quickly with any details you want to know about a canoe route or whatever. He's so passionate about it. Another guy is Hap Wilson. He knows more than anyone about the Temagami area. So this is actually the Temagami map right behind me here. The sun is glaring off of it.
Oh.
But he's a super inspiring author, and his books are like just super straightforward. So like in his Temagami book, I think there's over 25 different routes, and that's just like surface level of that area. So and I like the way both those guys kind of break it down. So they give you kind of an idea of what to expect, like challenges and whatnot. But they don't like spoil anything for you. It's not like just because you read about it, it like you're not gonna like you have to be out there to really understand like how incredible these places are. But anyways, once you've established the route, I think for me, my next step is to figure out food. So I used to like just like before a camping trip, I would just go out to Mech or even like Canadian Tire or whatever and buy like those freeze dried meals. And those are great. They're super convenient, but I've started finding that they became quite expensive. Like nowadays, I think they're even like $15 to $20 per meal. So like if you go out there on like a week-long trip and you're having 3 meals a day and they're all those packets, like that's like at least $60 a day. Whereas now I actually have a dehydrator, like a food dehydrator. So it's super tedious and kind of a pain in the arse sometimes, but like cuts the cost down like tenfold. Like I'm doing a bunch of dehydrating for a bunch of trips that are coming up right now, and I think I've got like close to a month's worth of food, and kept the cost so that's like 30 days worth of food, and the costs are around like 100 or $200. Now I'm trying to do it as cheap as possible, but I think personally it's like way more worth it to dehydrate your own food. I know other people, like my friend Tosh, he has, no, I'm not pointing at you. My friend Tana.
Hey guys, it's Tosh right here.
But he has a freeze dryer, which it's different than a dehydrator. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but you can, I just know that I think it's a lot quicker. Don't quote me on that, but he said like he makes like full meals. Like when we went out and did the Spanish River together, I was eating like every breakfast, I was eating oatmeal with peanut butter and like cashews in it. And he had like a sausage, bacon, and egg breakfast skillet with like all kinds of like peppers and mushrooms and stuff in it, hash browns, and like it just looked so good. Oh yeah, hey, Tyler Scott's in there. You got to go check out Camp Kitchen. They've got a cool channel going and some cool cooking stuff. And Tosh was actually telling me that he was meeting up with Tyler for to do like a big cookout.
Ooh.
Now I don't know if I won't say any more than that. I don't know if you guys are trying to keep that as a surprise or whatever. But Tyler is an awesome chef, and he's got a cool story. Just go check him out. Go check him out. I also want to say thank you to Lower Michigan Adventures for the donation there. That means a lot. And oh yeah, my brother. That's my brother's name. He says cool name too. The Tylers can bond in the chat. But yeah, so back to me dehydrating. Like I find like one meal. I've got like a very basic dehydrator. It's nothing fancy, but it takes like at least a day to dehydrate like a bunch of meals. So right now I've been just dehydrating a bunch of fruit and stuff that I'm going to be taking out. So like the other day, you're laughing because whenever I'm dehydrating, the entire apartment just smells like it.
It smells weird.
Yeah. The other day I dried out 25 whole bananas. And that was awesome. And I think that they turned out really well. But the whole place smelled like bananas. And that took like probably 30 hours. Like I really stuffed the dehydrator full. But you got to make sure that you dehydrate it completely, because if you have like the slightest bit of moisture and that's sitting in your bag of food for 2 weeks or whatever, like I think like you could really have some serious like mold problems or bacteria growth or whatever. And if you're relying on that food for a long trip, like you're screwed. So I don't really cut corners with that kind of stuff. I try to make sure it's like super dried out, probably overkill it. You're gonna say something?
Well, that's what happened to you. He dehydrated a bunch of beef, and then and then it wasn't fully dehydrated, so you had to toss it all.
No, I didn't toss it all. I think I did like 12 pounds of ground beef, and I lost like 2 or 3 pounds. So it wasn't like totally tragic, but yeah, like you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. But for these upcoming trips, I'm like kind of I do not claim to be an expert chef or a camping meal dehydrator guy. Go check out Tyler Scott, like I said, for that kind of stuff. But I'm experimenting with a couple meals that I haven't done before for camping meals. So right now, well, I did a bunch of ground beef just to have as a protein that I can like pair with rice or like instant mashed potatoes or something like that. And then I'm doing a bunch of chili as well, because that'll be like a staple. That's what I've always done. And then I'm doing a chicken fried rice this year. And I'm gonna do a chicken curry and rice as well. Have some different flavors in there. And then I'm also gonna do a bunch of pasta with my my grandma's recipe, my grandma's old pasta sauce. Oh, there's Elliot.
Oh my God, Elliot.
There. But Yeah, Melanie. Chili dehydrates really well. Oh, Melanie. Oh, we met at the outdoor show. Oh, thanks for. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we did. I had a great time talking with you. Thanks for tuning in here.
There's even like this question.
Oh, is there another question? Okay.
Yeah.
I live in Ontario. How do you find a place to camp? No, you won't get trespassed or anything like that. Yeah. So finding crown land. I think there is. Well, there's the Ontario Crown Land Atlas or something like that, where it literally shows like a map of all the crown land in the province. But to be honest, I find that pretty challenging to use. It's not like super user friendly. Yeah, see there, like Tyler says he uses iHunter, the app. I use that for a bit, but now I use Backroads Mapbooks, that app, and it's as easy as just like turning on a little slider, and it like highlights all of the crown land area. It highlights all of the private land, so you know what to stay away from. And then it's like super detailed. Yeah, the crown land atlas is super clunky. I don't think there's any better way to say that. But if there's a bunch of apps like out there, so Backroads Mapbooks and iHunter, those have been my two favorite. And there's Evan. Oh, and Corey Pittman too. No way. But sorry, I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but when Evan and I actually that was the first time we ever met up. We went to the Paddler Co-op and we were doing some white water and messing around in the rapids there. And Evan ended up dunking his phone in the river and he lost it in the bottom of the river.
Oh my God.
And he just so happened to have the printed off Backroads Mapbooks book, like the paper copy. And that got him back from while we were at Palmer Rapids, like on the Madawaska River. And that got him all the way to Ottawa. No technology, just like the cavemen used to do. But yeah, the other thing too, Darren is saying that he lives up north. Like there's no good crown land like south of like Muskoka, like especially, well, if you really want to be like remote, like there's pockets here and there. But like if you're looking for crown land within like an hour of Toronto, you're probably just not going to find it. And if you do, like, let me know. But if you go like way up north, there's like endless crown land. There's probably pockets of crown land where people like think they own it or whatever. I'm not like singling anyone out or whatever, but like there's definitely pockets of crown land where if like the same hunting group goes up at every year, and then they see you camping there, they probably, I'm sure hopefully people are going to be more friendly than not, but like if they catch you camping on their hunting grounds or whatever, and like then it becomes kind of controversial there. But no one owns crown land except for, I guess, the queen. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
She ain't here anymore.
But anyways, yeah, keep the questions coming in. I'll like do like a big read of the questions afterwards. I do want to continue on with my trip planning process. Oh, I love that though. Yeah, we own it. We own the crown land. But yeah, so I have to make sure that I set enough time aside to do all my dehydrating before a trip. Like if I decide to do a trip like next week, I probably wouldn't have enough time to dehydrate all my meals. And then that way I'd like that. If I was in a pinch like that, that's probably the only way that I would buy those like freeze-dried meals. And then actually this is more personal to me. Obviously doesn't apply to everyone, but I just recently found out that I've got a gluten allergy. So that makes it a little bit more challenging when like buying those like prepackaged meals. It's just so much easier for me to make sure I know like the ingredients that are going into it. Because the last thing I need in the backcountry is have an allergic reaction. And it's I just know that it's a lot safer for me that way. So yeah, so find the route. I dehydrate all my food, and then I would say once my food is dehydrated, or once I've at least made a plan for that, I try to like get more into like the nitty gritty of the route, or whatever the trip is. So there's so many little details here. I should have listed this down, but off the top of my head, like things like shuttling, if you're going with someone else, or if your access point is in a different place than when you're going to finish, like how are you going to get your car there, or how are you going to get your canoe there? Like for example, Tosh and I are planning a trip in May, and we're going to shuttle we have 2 canoes, and neither of us can put 2 canoes on either of our vehicles. So that's like a detail that we both went, oh, like we got to figure that out. So we're probably going to hire a shuttle, which like can be a little on the pricier side, but totally worth it. Like if that's like your only way to get into the trip. Another like nitty gritty detail, especially in like the days leading up to the trip, is like maybe this doesn't apply to everyone, but I like to know like what kind of weather I'm getting into. If it's going to be like, if I am going on a 5-day trip and there's 10 days of lightning storms, maybe I'll rethink it or whatever. But an example of that is last year when I did the Temagami trip with the Mad for Maple guys. We had planned, so we did that Canada Day weekend. We started, so that was first week of July, and since that February, we'd been planning this trip to go run the Des Moines River in Quebec, and we had like met up like 3-4 times and did all these like planning meetings, and had like the whole trip dialed in. We had like all of our route planned out, campsites and everything. We had shuttles booked, or actually, I don't think we had booked shuttles yet, because I don't remember having to like refund that. But anyways, we had the whole trip planned, and then the week before we were going to leave for the trip, there were forest fires that were like moving into that area, and that just became like we were like, okay, well, we can't go here. Like if the place is going to be on fire, or I don't think it was actually burning around the Des Moines River, but I think it was close enough that there was enough smoke to be like, okay, well, we're not going to go on this trip where we can barely breathe. So all the boys came up clutch there, and we planned an entire Temagami trip in like a day or 2. So there's a last minute change, but if we weren't keeping up with the forest fire schedule
Yeah.
the schedule of the forest fire, but just if we weren't monitoring that, or if like just turned a blind eye to it, that could have put us in a potentially pretty dangerous situation. I just want to take a second here to say hello to a few new faces here. Lexi's here. Hey Jeff. There's Spilt Milk. That's Lucas, who I used to work with.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. Oh, and Corey Pittman too. Thank you to everyone coming to hang out. Wilderness Canoe Association. Welcome. Yeah. So.
Hey, you know that guy.
Oh, there's Tosh. Right on. Oh, okay. I want to say really quick. Sorry, I've got ADD. I'm bouncing around here. It is 7:23 right now. I'm gonna try to probably wrap this up before 8 p.m. here, because tonight on TVO they are premiering the Tripping the French River like documentary. So TVO made this documentary on the French River, where it's basically like an interactive experience where you're there. I don't think there's even any dialogue in the show. It's just you sitting in the front of the canoe and you're going along the entire French River. He says it's the French River slow TV show. So yeah, I think it's like 3 hours long.
Oh.
So maybe you don't want to watch the whole thing. But what I was going to say about that was that TVO actually reached out to my buddy Tosh, and they found out that he had done a few trips on the French River, and they said, "Hey, would you be interested in guiding one of our cameramen?" And Tosh was like, "Yeah, sure." So he showed up, and Tosh was like running the rapids with this guy sitting in the front of the canoe with like a huge gimbal, like $15,000 worth of camera gear. And the guy's just going, okay, like, we're not going to tip, right? And Tasha's going, well, I don't think so.
Oh God.
But that premieres tonight, so I want to go check that out. And I think you should too. But anyways,
Lexi's like, Petra, we will be watching this. I will.
Yeah.
I honestly did not know this until just now. So.
Petra's gonna be glued in.
Oh yeah.
For the whole 3 hours. She's not gonna look away.
I'm actually featured in it. No, I'm not.
No, but I think the whole point of this documentary is, well, first of all, it's like giving light to the French River, and it's like a cool historic canoe route, and there's a lot of history in general on that river. But I think that it's super cool just to have like playing in the background while you're working or whatever, or like if you're just hanging out. It's a cool little like documentary to have on, just to kind of set that ambiance in the room. But Lexi. Anyways, so back to my planning phases. I feel like the way that I'm explaining how I plan for a canoe trip, all scattered like this, is exactly how I plan for a canoe trip.
Oh my God, yeah.
But anyway, so I've tried to figure out the route, the nitty gritty of the area. I want to make sure I know like through and through what I'm getting myself into. And then it comes to like actually packing the gear. So I only like bought my canoe last year. So like before that, if we were going on a canoe trip, I had to figure out like where I'm going to get a rental from, and how much that's going to cost, or when we need to book that, or if there's even any canoes available or whatever. So as I've kind of accumulated more gear, that side of things has become a lot easier. It's even like just like one less stop on the way up to the area. But I have like a grandmaster list on my phone of all the gear that I bring, and I've kind of tried to break it down, just basically like how I organize it in a list of how I need it at the campsite. So let's say I pull up to the campsite. First thing I want to do is set up my tent and get that over with. So I've got like a section on my list where it's like tent / like sleeping gear. So I've got my tent, my tarp, I've got my sleeping bag, I've got my pillow that I use, and then with that, so actually the pillow that I sleep on, I just stuff my clothing. I have a pillowcase and I stuff my clothing into the pillowcase. So within that list, I have my clothing that I'm going to use. But I call that like my camp clothing. So I'll have like, if it's like a 10-day trip, I'll have like 1 or 2 pairs of underwear. I'm just kidding.
I believe that.
Yeah, no, you didn't even react to that. No, so I'll have like camp clothing where I'll have like extra pairs of base layers, maybe an extra sweater if it's going to be like super cold. And then I've got another section where, okay, so now my tent is set up, my sleeping setup is all good to go. I'm hungry now, so I got to cook my food. So I've got first and foremost my water purification method. So usually I've got like a filter with me. I also use those like little filtration like tablets. They're not my favorite, but they're super convenient. Then I've got whatever cookware I'm going to use for the trip. So that's very dependent on the trip, whether or not if there's like no portages or whatever, then I can bring like my nice big like cast iron pan. But if it's going to be like an ultralight trip where there's lots of portages or lots of hiking or whatever, I'll usually only bring like 1 pot, and not even have like a frying pan or a grill or whatever, and just rely on all rehydrated food. And then, oh, there's Cassie. Nice. Hello.
Oh.
And so I've got like a section of food stuff, like just how am I going to stay fed? And then aside from this, I also have a huge list of whatever food I'm going to be packing for this specific trip. And that's another thing that is so based on whatever trip it is. Like the food list for a 10-day canoe trip is going to be so different than like a weekend winter camp. So I think that's maybe where my feelings of being like scattered are coming from, because it's not like one formula that works every time. But then I've also got a section on my list of just random devices that I have at camp. And I'm going to get into like camera gear afterwards, but devices that I'm talking, flashlights, my GPS, a portable like power bank to charge my GPS.
Well, actually, sorry to interrupt on that note. Like the most recent question, what's your source or sources for navigation?
Yeah. So paper maps, I'll print out like topo maps, or even sometimes I'll just like go on Backroads map books and take screenshots and then print those off. And I've in the past I've laminated them, but I have like a waterproof map case now too. But I think it's like, so even though we're in like the age of GPS and technology and stuff like that, it's like if you lose your GPS or if you break your phone or whatever, it's so nice to have those paper maps that are like a surefire way. They're not going to break down on you. But I also have my GPS. So I have a Garmin InReach, which is not only like a mapping device, so it like shows me where I am as GPS, but it also is like it's got like satellite communication. So that's been really cool to be able to just text my family. Like I can send them a message or send Pedro a message, be like, "Hey, great day today.
I'm alive."
Yeah, I'm alive. Didn't get eaten by a bear." And you know what's funny is that I find myself with that like satellite communication device, like you only get a certain number of characters that you can send. I think it's like you have to keep it under like 200 characters or something in a message. And on these longer like solo trips that I've done, I want to be like, "Hey, like great day today. Like I'm staying safe." But I find myself like typing like, "You wouldn't believe it. Like I caught a huge pike and saw a wolf today." And like go on, and like I can't wait to like share what's going on in the trip, because especially like I love that solitude, but there's no one to like share that experience with. I want to like tell them right away. But yeah, I definitely go on Google Earth to check it out. I love like just looking at satellite imagery on the route. That's for sure. And yeah, Jason says yeah, do like meal 1, meal 2. Yeah. So I usually don't like I don't make like a super meticulous plan for meals. I don't have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner planned out. I just have enough dinners. Like let's say I bring like 4 different types of dinner. I just make sure I have enough to keep me fed for however long the trip is. Because like I've tried that in the past where like I have like a plan, and then like when I'm at the campsite, I'm like, okay, I don't feel like chili tonight. Like I'd rather do rice or whatever, or maybe I caught a fish that I want to eat. Oh, there's Phoebe. Hello.
Phoebe.
But yeah, so I keep a list of all of my things, and kind of as I'm packing it, I check it off. But okay, I'm gonna answer a few questions really quick here, even though I'm sorry I'm all over the place here, but I like this question. The worst piece of gear I've forgotten on a trip. So one time, I think I've told this story probably before, but I think this was before I even started my YouTube channel. My brother and I were going out for a hiking trip, and it was a 30-kilometer hike, and we had parked. It's like a through hike, so it's not a loop. So you park one car here and then park the other car at the very end. And we started hiking in, and we got set up. I think we hiked in like 10 or 12 kilometers, and got camp set up. It was awesome. And I'm just like getting ready for bed, and I'm like, I think that's what it was. We had I was like getting the flashlights, and I kept like our flashlights with our battery pack. Like I had like a little kit that I kept all our valuables in. So like phones and chargers and whatnot. And I kept the car keys in there. And right before I went to bed, I noticed that I had left the car keys for the end car in the beginning car that was 12 kilometers back. Oh, Ty says, yeah, you remember. I'm sure you remember this real well, Ty. So that was like I think probably as essential of a piece of gear as you can possibly get, because there was like, if we I'm so glad that I noticed this on the first night, because if we had hiked all the way through and then got into that car, I don't even think we would have had cell service at the end of it. And this was actually before my I had my satellite device. So thank goodness we noticed that. I hiked all the way back, and then we just ended up not actually going for the full through hike. And once I got the keys, and it was like kind of stressful at that point. But like Ty said, he thought we agreed not to tell the parents.
Well, they don't know.
No, we've definitely told that story before, but yeah, we would have been screwed. But it ended up being an awesome trip. I want to see here. Yes, some random dude here with the same last name as me says, living in an apartment in Toronto must make it challenging for you to store all your gear. Where do you store it? And does it inconvenience anyone? Yeah, so I live in a tiny little apartment with this beautiful lady right here. And all of my camping gear is stored at my wonderful parents' place in a closet in their basement. And so every time, but he's making a joke, but he loves it when I come home.
Oh yeah.
Anytime, it is really nice. Anytime that I go on a camping trip, I have to stop in at my parents' place. So I usually spend a night there, and like unpacking all my gear, and it's like also a nice reason to just have a visit. Wesley says, why canoeing over kayaking? For me, I just like the storage capacity that a canoe has. I have done a kayak trip in the past, and it was great. I love paddling a kayak, but like I'm kind of an overpacker when it comes to these camping trips. So like for like a 10-day trip, I'll have like a bag, like a big pack, and then like my food barrel, and then maybe a smaller backpack with like fishing gear and camera gear in it.
Also, when we did, sorry to interrupt, but when we did our trip, that was, well, the first one that we did, we were kind of like glamping. Like we brought a guitarlele and a cooler. I'm pretty sure we brought a cooler as well.
Yeah, we brought a cooler. We brought chairs.
Yeah.
Did we bring chairs?
No,
we did on our second one.
I sat on we sat on the ground.
Yeah. Yes, that is a map of Temagami up here behind me. I study this every night.
That was a compromise of him moving in. I had all my instruments, and he needed real estate for the map. So
yeah, it's like I need wall space. Super Good Camping is here. They have an awesome podcast. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I did a podcast with them with Super Good Camping. Gotta go check that out. That was a lot of fun. Really sweet people. Yeah, so I think I've talked enough about the gear. But then before I leave, this is more specific to being a videographer as well. Like I'm going out and I'm capturing these camping trips. So like after all of my actual camping gear is packed up, I now have to figure out, okay, like what do I want to bring to film this? So I have like my camera, I have a tripod, I have a drone. Sometimes I'll bring, well, actually, I have a GoPro, but it's not my GoPro. It's actually my dad's. He'll get on me after, but he lets me borrow it. And all of these devices all take batteries. So then I have to have batteries for the camera, batteries for the drone, batteries for the GoPro. I have to have make sure there's enough battery packs to charge my phone or my GPS, depending on what I'm relying on for the trip. And like before I know it, like sometimes I'll have more camera gear than, well, not always, but sometimes it feels like I have more camera gear than I even do camping gear. And I don't want to think for a second, I don't want anyone to think that I'm like complaining about that. Like that's a choice I make. And I love um, I always say, like, I love videography and capturing the story of being out there just as much as I love camping itself. So like bringing all that camera gear is just as essential for me as like my tent and my sleeping bag. But I find that that's where packing becomes the most intimidating for me. And there's been so many times where like I've got everything squared away, everything's packed up. I've even got my camera like packed right up in its case, deep in my bag. It's like everything's all waterproofed, and then I'm like laying in bed the night before, and I think, oh my goodness, I forgot to clear the SD card that's in the camera. So I have to like unpack all that stuff, take the SD card out, go into my computer, format it, and like it's just make sure I back it up if there's anything important on there. And I find like just with the camera gear, there are so many moving parts. And that's yeah, I think that's probably the most kind of like mind-boggling thing for me. No, is that the word I'm looking for? Like I'm pretty dialed with my camping gear now. Like I keep a list, but I pretty much have it like memorized off the top of my head.
You also just like he'll take everything out of the closet and then display it on the ground, so it's all organized.
Yeah, but I think like I can only assume that most people in this chat have probably gone camping before, and even if you're car camping, like you just bring, actually sometimes car camping you bring even more stuff because you can bring it.
Well, someone asked a good question. What's one luxury item you would bring on a trip if you had space, or if space or weight wasn't a factor? I have one that comes to mind, but you go first.
Gosh, like a barbecue?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm thinking a bed.
A bed? No. See, I've never, like, I always find I sleep really well camping. I've never had any real issues with like comfort that way.
I do.
I think I could list off a few things here, luxury items. The first one that comes to mind, especially on like a long trip, is probably a nice juicy ribeye steak. A chair is also kind of a luxury, depending on how like super light you want to go. Just for my birthday this year, I got like a lighter camping chair. So I'm probably going to be bringing that with me on some canoe trips. But if you've ever done like a trip that's longer than a weekend trip without a chair, you know how much of a luxury item that is. What else? I think one thing for me, this might be a little bit of a hot take, is like, especially on a solo trip, when I'm out there for like a week plus, I really start to like miss like music. I'm a big music fan, obviously. Like, look at this room. And I find it like morally, it feels wrong to be listening to music out in the wilderness, because you've got so many amazing natural sounds of waterfalls and birds and deer. I don't know, random sounds,
Frogs.
scary sounds.
Yeah.
But I always find that as soon as I get back to my car or whatever, and like whatever song pops up when I hit shuffle, I always just love that song. So I think like even like, but I'm a little bit torn about that answer actually, because I don't know if I would want to bring music out into the wilderness. I'm definitely not someone who brings like a Bluetooth speaker. That's I think that's a little bit invasive.
What a bunch of comments.
Yeah, geez. Okay. I'm gonna get caught up here.
Maybe do like a quick.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna do some rapid fire stuff. Super Good Camping says, careful with the drone. They seem to be dropping into the drink lately. Jay and Sherry just Beauty the Backcountry. Jay and Sherry, they just flew their drone directly into Lake Superior.
Oh.
And I don't think they got it back.
They're not getting that back.
Yep, I've got the map of Temagami behind me here. I love looking at it. Does it add a lot of time to your trip to film as you go? Yeah, definitely. Especially like depending on how like in depth I want to film it. It definitely adds a lot of time. Like there, like so many of those shots where like I'll set my camera up, walk along, and drop my stuff, go back for the camera. Um, so it's not quite like I wouldn't say it's like twice as much time, but um, it does definitely add a lot of time. But again, I'll reiterate that I love that filming aspect of it. It doesn't feel like I plan accordingly for that. I think I've said before that the Steel River video that I did, the 11-day trip, um, I could have done that in like 7 or 8 days or even quicker than that. But I chose to do it in 11. First of all, because I just wanted to enjoy it. Like I don't think there's any reason in like rushing through anything. But I took some rest days. I filmed a lot, like, and I also fished a lot too. I was just like kind of just putting along just with a line in the water. Um, Let's see here. Does the additional camera gear make portages longer or make you choose routes with shorter portages? I never really think about like the length of portages. Um, and even with the weight, I always just think like, you know what, like it's gonna be worth it. In the moment, I definitely curse myself or just curse the pain in my legs, but I've never like come to an end of a portage and be like, oh, I wish I hadn't done this, or I wish I didn't pack so heavy, or whatever. Like it's it's always worth it to me. What do you do for work to fund these kinds of trips? Do you have sponsors? Oh, this is cool. Um, so I've done like so in this YouTube journey that I've been on. So I started my YouTube channel like 2.5 years ago now, probably, right? Um, and I've worked like so many random like odd jobs here and there. Um, I think when I started the channel, I was fresh out of school, so I had gone to college for like a general like media program. And at that time when I started my channel, I was in an internship for this car company, and I was doing like I was running their social medias and stuff like that. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And those guys were like, it was an amazing company. I'm not going to say the company name just for whatever, for their own privacy, but amazing group of guys. And I really like my boss. And it's funny when I um, told him I was actually, so I think I was working 4 days a week there, and then 1 day from home, something like that. And basically, it was an internship where they didn't even actually have to pay me, but they paid me just to be nice. And they, I think I did it for 3 months, and then we were going to be like, okay, like what's the next step? Are they going to hire me full time? And when we got to that point, I remember like sitting down with my boss and being like, listen, man, like I gotta be honest, like I have this dream, and I had nothing on YouTube at this point. Like I had like 90 subscribers. And I was like, I have this dream where like I really want to just start putting as much time as possible into like camping in the outdoors. And like I really think that like this could be something special. And I didn't think I was gonna like make a career of it. And I was super nervous having that talk with him. I was essentially like quitting my job. And he he was like, dude, like as soon as I saw you you like love nature stuff, he's like, I knew you were out the door. Like and he was like, he kind of like made a joke out of it, but he was like super supportive. And there was obviously no bad blood there or anything like that. But that was a cool job because we were like they serviced like luxury cars. So I remember I was making like Instagram edits on like Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And I remember one time they had like a $500,000 Rolls Royce in there. And like it was just my job to take photos of it and film little videos and stuff like that. But from there, I started working in a bar, just serving, and that allowed like more flexible hours for me to just take off and go camping. Actually, we worked together at that bar. That was fun. And then I did like a little bit of landscaping. Here and there, I did like some videography gigs, like just like freelance videography. Um, uh, in between trips as well, I also did like a bunch of random just like Uber Eats, like food delivery, stuff like that. And it's at times like it felt like a little bit not weird, but like I'm still at the point where like I'm doing everything I can to like this is my dream. Like I really want to make this YouTube thing possible to really support myself. And it sometimes it feels weird to like have like a college diploma, but I'm out there just like delivering food to people. Not saying that's a bad job, but like it's sometimes I have to remind myself like the reason I'm doing things. It's like, okay, no, like I'm doing this because I want to make this dream come alive. But anyways, fast forward a year, I did some landscaping, and then I had actually at that bar job I had saved. I worked a lot of overtime when, especially around Christmas time and stuff like that. I got as many hours as possible and saved a bunch of money. And I bought my canoe with that money, and I bought the drone as well. And then around that time, I remember I was out for dinner with my parents. I've definitely told this story before on somewhere, but I was out for dinner with my parents, and I basically said to them like, "Hey, like, would you guys be okay if I just like lived in your basement and I would essentially be camping as much as possible? I would just take off for weeks on end and come home for 4 or 5 days, edit my video, and then go back out." And similar to like the conversation I had with my boss, where I just felt so like nervous to even like bring this up. Not that I didn't have any reason to be nervous around my parents, but I figured like they definitely had good reason to laugh at me and be like, "No, you're crazy. Like, absolutely not. No, like go get a real job." But they were super supportive, and they were like, "Dude, like if you believe in yourself, then go for it. Like, of course." So that was another like that was really the only way that I was able to like facilitate this as like no, I'm not saying it's because of my rich parents or anything like that, but I'm super grateful that like I know not everyone has that opportunity to kind of fall back onto a safety net like that. But then so that was through last summer, and then I basically got sick and tired of living at my parents' place. I'm just kidding, but I decided it was time to move out. So moved in with her. We've got our apartment here in Toronto, and so I had to start working again. And I found this super sweet gig actually through your friend or our friend. It's this company that it's this company that does like high-end photo booths. I know this sounds kind of funny, but they do photo booths around the city for events. So like different like weddings and birthday parties and random like corporate events and stuff like that. And I'm the photographer for these events. And what's really cool about this is that they show you all the events like ahead of time, like a month in advance. So and it's all through this app. So you can like select the events that you want to work. And then if you want to take time off to go on a big camping trip, like myself, you just don't pick events. It's not like you have to like get time off approved or whatever. That was one of my biggest challenges working at like the bars and landscaping and stuff, like having to go to my boss and be like, "Hey, like, do you mind if I take off for 2 weeks?" But I've also more recently, like within the last few months, I've been picking up more like freelance videography jobs. So working with a buddy of mine who he has like a bunch of clients that he does video work for, and he set me up with a few gigs here and there. I've done some videos for a catering company, did some videos for a taco restaurant. And is that why are you laughing?
Because you're going on about
I know.
the job. I'm just thinking if you're trying to be done in 5 minutes.
I don't think I'm gonna wrap up in 5 minutes. I got too much to talk about.
Okay.
As long as like everyone's still like are people like falling asleep here? Because
you gotta scroll. Well,
I don't think
you're missing.
Oh, it's still going. Jeez.
Yeah. You're scrolled up a bit. But okay, wait. You were last.
Mark Beauchamp. My friend's name is Taco. Mark, are we related to it?
There were a lot more.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, but I'm going to wrap this up here. But I don't think I'm going to end the live, even though you should go check out that TVO special, but I'm not going to.
I was just thinking, like, if you're really trying to wrap it up in 5 minutes, then stop talking about work.
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay, good. Okay.
No, we're all night till sunrise.
I support his jobs. Let me just say this, guys.
Sorry, where was I?
You were...
But okay, wait. But I'm getting to sponsorship opportunities.
Right.
Yeah. So, long story short, I've been working like real jobs this whole time. I've in November 2023, this past November, that's when I finally met the qualifications to monetize the channel. So I have been able to make a little bit of money off YouTube, but I'm nowhere near the point where like it's like a living wage. But oh yeah. Oh, you know, I don't think I ever got back to your email. I'm sorry.
Can you have to say out loud what you're reading?
Oh, Wilderness Canoe Association. I will hit you back. Sorry, I got busy with some other things there. But yes, I would love that. But anyway, sorry. So I'm not at the point where I'm doing YouTube full time just yet. I don't know, like it's like can be some a little bit of a gamble sometimes with YouTube, where like it's not super it's not like a safe bet. Like it's not like I know in 5 years I'm going to be making this much or whatever, or there's no benefits or anything like that. So, but for me, like I don't know, it's I don't really know where I'm trying to go with this, but I think personally I feel like I've got a shot at this. And one day, hopefully not 10 years from now, hopefully it's like a year or two from now, I can get to the point where these camping trips are at least paying for themselves. And I also have a little bit of money set aside for rent and to put food on my table. Like that's really my dream. And the only reason I'm doing any of this stuff is so that I can continue camping and exploring and adventuring as much as possible. But I was gonna say about sponsorships. So I have been able to get in contact with a few brands here now, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I guess I totally am about to. But you'll see in the next couple of videos, I'm not doing any like cheesy like ad placements just yet. But I've got. I've partnered up with Level 6, the company that makes like dry suits and stuff like that.
I should have started while I'm wearing this.
I know. Well, it's too hot. Look at this. This is my new dry suit. So I've got some spring trips planned where we're gonna be paddling some super cold water, and I wouldn't even be able to do these trips without a piece of gear like this. So this is a dry suit. For anyone that doesn't know about it, it's got like a rubber neck gasket, and as well as your wrist gaskets, and it covers your feet. So it doesn't you can't, like if you were in ice cold water, you can't like be in there for more than like 10-15 minutes. But it's like a huge kind of it's a huge upgrade from just like swimming naked. That's
in the cold.
In the cold water, yeah. So that's sorry. What I'm trying to get at is that's an essential piece of safety gear for me, and I'm super excited about that because like this time last year, I wouldn't even be thinking about canoe trips until the water's warm enough to justify. Like if you're out in the middle of a big lake and you tip and you have to swim back, or you can't flip your self-rescue or whatever, like in water that it like just had ice on it, you're screwed. That's like a life-threatening situation. So yeah, super excited to have this dry suit, and it's fun to be working with Level 6 right now. And I also am partnering up with paddle.ca. So that's actually my buddy Derek, who I met through Evan LaFive. He's in here somewhere.
So many comments.
Jeez. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this for like 2 more minutes, and then I'll start reading some of these comments here. Sorry. But Derek owns paddle.ca. They sell skiff canoes, and they do outfitting and stuff like that. And he is just like super awesome dude. And he hooked me up with some whitewater outfitting for my canoe. So I've got like thigh straps now. We put the float bags in, and that's another piece of essential equipment that that I wouldn't be able to do the trips that I have planned for May without that kind of gear. And it's also like just really fun to be associated with Derek now too, because he's just such a genuine guy. He's not. It's fun. Like he's more of like he's a small business. So like when he was actually talking to me about this, and he was like, how do you want to go about this? Like, do you, or maybe I asked him like, what kind of a shout out do you want? Like, what's worth it for you? And he said, oh man, like whatever you feel comfortable, but like make sure it's not like make sure when you're talking about me, like make sure you tell people that I'm just a dude in a garage that sells canoes. Like I don't want to sound like some major corporation and that sells people something they don't need or something like that. And his words exactly was that he's in the business of he sells smiles. So he's like every time sells, does that make sense? Yeah. But every time someone comes to pick up a canoe from him, they've always got a big like ear to ear smile.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and like that's yeah, I could talk about that for hours. But I think when you like just a canoe, and especially for someone like that who sells canoes, he is like every boat that he gives someone, he's like thinking about like all the places that boat is going to take them to, and like think about the like the amount of best days of my life you're gonna have in that canoe, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I'm partnering up with paddle.ca as well as Level 6. So I don't know, like we haven't really talked about if I'm they're like officially my sponsor, but I've been able to get some free gear from them, and I'll be giving them some shout outs for sure. So let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna try to do way more rapid fire. I said I was gonna do rapid fire, and then let's see. Backcountry camping all the way. Carry an extra weight to bring an Outback oven. Oh, baking, nice.
Did you ever bring the guitar with you, Kate?
I have once. And I would love to bring a guitar everywhere I go, but the thing is, like, I don't have like super expensive guitars, but I feel like any guitar is like super special. So I find it's pretty challenging to like keep the guitar out of the rain or whatever, and like, and especially if you're like sitting around, it's actually, believe it or not, sitting around a campfire with a guitar is like the worst thing you can do for the guitar, because it'll dry it right out and you could crack it. I do a little bit of reading on my trips. I've been reading.
You should read the you should read the question first and then answer it, so people know what you're reading.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. This is my first time. First live. I'm learning as I go here. So Adam says, "Do you do much reading on your trips?" Not a ton, but recently I've been bringing out what is it? One Man's Wilderness by it's the Dick Prenneke journals. So that guy that moved to Alaska and built a bunch of cabins out there, or one cabin. But that's been a fun read. Wesley says, check out Jim Baird. He's got a plethora of canoe routes that would be cool to see you do. I'm a huge fan of Jim Baird, and I would especially love to go check out some of his routes out in like the Yukon and stuff like that. He's done some wicked stuff out there. Which actually that one of the questions that someone had sent me was what's something that's out of your comfort zone that you want to try / accomplish. So the big thing for me before was whitewater. So I always thought I would never want to do whitewater. And then I tried it out. I did a course, and like absolutely obsessed with it now. So I love it now. So I'm no longer intimidated by most whitewater within reason. But I think what the something that's intimidating for me now on the topic of Jim Baird being up in the Yukon is I've never camped in grizzly bear country. And actually, if I'll probably be in polar bear country before I'm in grizzly bear country, which is even more scary if I ever do a trip up to like James Bay or something like that. And I think that's like when I'm out in even in just northern Ontario or what I call northern Ontario, like around Highway 11 or Highway 17. There's nothing that like really scares me. Like I know that there's black bears out there and there's the odd cougar out there. But like those really kind of keep to themselves for in my experience. I know like people have everyone has their own experience with wild animals and stuff, but I think something that really intimidates me is definitely like grizzly bear country or polar bear country because I think polar bears they actually like see you as meat. Like they will like polar bears do try to eat humans. Not to make this a scary live stream, but oh, here's a good question. How important is it for your trip planning to find areas you can fly the drone? I try not to like get too hung up on flying the drone, but yeah, it's super important for me. Like if it's a provincial park where I can't fly the drone, I'm gonna try to find a way to get permission to fly it. But I generally like just try to look for crown land spots and areas where I can fly it because I feel like it adds so much to the video and
Yeah.
not just like cinematic wise, but just to be able to give the viewer an idea of what the landscape looks like when you're just filming like yourself like this or whatever, you can see that there's trees behind me or whatever, but you can't see the like huge peninsula that I'm standing on, right? So I think for like gaining perspective, the drone is a real deal breaker for me. Yeah, Tyler says the bigger the portage, the fewer the people on the other side. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Melanie, who said your filming is awesome.
Someone commented on your mustache.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. We'll save all mustache comments for the end. Jennifer, where can I purchase that map? Is it all of Temagami? So yeah, it's the entire general area of the Temagami cluster. So Temagami is just like the like when people say, "Oh, I'm going to Temagami," there's actually like I think 5 or maybe more than 5 different parks within the Temagami area. So there's like the big ones are like Lady Evelyn Provincial Park or Lady Evelyn Smoothwater Provincial Park. There's like Solus Provincial Park. There's the Sturgeon River Provincial Park. There's the Solus Wildlands. There's well, I could go on and on, but so that all kind of classifies as the Temagami area. And I think that this covers most of it. And you can find that at the Friends of Temagami website. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Jeff.
Down here.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't reading far enough there. Sorry, I'm yapping. I got a yapping problem. Oh, here's a good one. Is there a certain type of fish you would like to catch that you've never caught before? Yeah. Yeah, I've never caught a salmon. That would be really cool to catch a salmon.
Yeah.
And
or tuna.
Or tuna, yeah, right? Yeah, that would be fun. It isn't Austin Mustachio after all, but what is your girlfriend's name? This is Petra. So I'm gonna put it in the chat one more time. Go follow Petra at It's Petra on all platforms. And she's a musician. She makes some really awesome music. So go find her on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that. How do you like the Skiff Prospector 15? I'm in the market for a new solo canoe and torn between the P15 and the Pocket Canyon. So yeah, I know some people answered this. The Pocket Canyon is awesome. It's great for tandem and solo. So I really like my Prospector 15. It's perfect for what I do because it's a great solo tripping boat that can handle like decent enough whitewater. But it also doubles as like a tandem boat too. So when I want to take her out or when I want to go with my brother, it's a big enough canoe. If I was mainly doing tandem, I'd want to go a little bit bigger than that, probably with the 16 or even the 17. But then it becomes heavier. I think the Pocket Canyon is a good canoe, but just with the shape of it, it's more of a river canoe where you're mainly in moving water or whitewater. But on longer stretches of flat water going across big lakes, it's going to be much slower than the Prospector 15. If you want to know more about that, go check out paddle.ca's YouTube video. Derek just made a video on the Prospector 15, and I think I may have just said word for word what he was talking about in the video, but I'm really happy with mine. If we had a camera 45 years ago, we'd be rich from our bloopers. I love that. Crazy video. If you ever want a crazy video idea, a good one would be going on a paddle trip with a lucky subscriber. Cough, cough. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, did I skip over?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, you're almost caught up.
Oh, here we go. Ben, are you in Ontario? Yes, I am. Go for it, Ben. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think Jeff is gone. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Melanie.
So I'm opening the door to hear if the soup is boiling over.
Oh, do you want to go check on it? Could you?
Yeah. BRB.
Oh,
it smells so good.
I'm making chicken soup right now. Let's see here. What was one fear or challenge that you had to overcome on your first solo trip? Oh, geez. My first solo trip. So that would have been my first video that I made. I didn't really run into too many challenges on that trip. It was a pretty challenging hike, but it was just a super enjoyable trip. That was kind of like mid-October, so there were no bugs at all, and I had really, really nice weather, so it was like kind of an easier trip. That was my very first video. I made the sauna. I made a tarp sauna, and that was that was a relaxation trip. So I didn't really have any big challenges on that one, but then a few trips later, I went out in like late spring, and I'm sure some people here have seen that like tick video. I got covered in like 200 ticks. Oh my God. And that's one of my biggest fears. I'm more scared of ticks than I am of bears or anything. Yeah, actually I had someone respond to my story when I was asking for questions, and they said they lived, I think it was they were in the Chicago area, and they said ticks are a big problem. And they asked like, why has it never been a problem for me? And my answer is it has been a very, very big problem for me. Like ticks are a huge nuisance here in Ontario as well. And yeah, it's yeah. So I don't know what the future holds for ticks. I don't think they're going anywhere though.
They're getting worse, I think.
Yeah, which really concerns me. And there was, that question was, what was one fear or challenge that you had to overcome on your first solo trip? And there was I still don't think I've overcome that fear of ticks. Uncle Dave should be sponsoring your adventures since the incident. Wink, wink. I love it. Mike Strong says, I missed the trips that you have planned for this year. I haven't even talked about them yet, so you haven't missed anything. I will get into it a little bit, but I also don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah, keep the
Yeah,
element of surprise.
yeah. Um, I love it. Yeah, I could talk all day about solo camping. Let's see. Oh, I actually do bring our harmonica with me. I can't even really play the harmonica, but I know Survivor Man always brings a harmonica with him, so I started doing it. My brother can play harmonica. When we did our Killarney trip, like I had just packed it with me, and like I was just like, oh, we'll mess around with this, and then one of the first nights we were setting up the tent, and then he just whipped out the harmonica out of nowhere and played this crazy solo, and I was like, dude, like, when'd you learn how to play that?
Oh, Ty?
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. And he used to be like really good at trumpet. He probably still is, but he was like, oh man, he's like, this harmonica's in B flat. He's like, I know the whole B flat scale. I was like, oh, well, okay.
Love that.
Yeah, Melanie's been to polar bear country. It says, don't ever let your guard down. Why can't you fly a drone in provincial parks? It's just the park, like Ontario parks. It's against their like park rules, I guess. But I understand it. Like could you imagine if you were just on a campsite that you paid for and you wanted like that solitude, and there's just this like drone flying over?
Yeah, they said like people crash them and they pollute the lakes.
Yeah, that too.
Olivia asked, have you ever seen a newt?
Probably when yes, I have seen a newt at Awenda Provincial Park when we used to do family trips. We used to go with a big group of neighborhood friends, and our neighbors were like master newt finders, and we saw some really cool lizards, salamanders too. Got a Langford Nahani UL you may want to borrow. Oh, nice. That sounds cool. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with Langford canoes. I know they're a favorite, but has there ever been a time on one of your trips where panic set in? Ever been lost or felt like you're in immediate danger? So on that same trip that I was talking about where I got covered in ticks, the video's out there. I think it's like solo camping in bug season. Might be like my second or third video. I was just hiking along and I had like a coyote or something. I think it was a coyote. It was like howling and yipping and like it was going crazy and barking at me. And I was really starting to panic at that point because I couldn't see it, but because it was like behind a few trees or something, but I could hear it walking around. And at that point, I was still, well, I'm still like, I'm not an expert these days by any means, but I was very, very like beginner at that time. And I had no clue what was going to happen. I was very freaked out. Not total panic attack though. But since then, I've really like, there's never been a time where true panic has set in. Because for the most part, like these, as like intense or crazy as these trips are, like there's never I personally go at a very relaxed pace, and there's never a time where like I feel like I'm like freaking out about something. And if there's something to be stressed about, that's like the worst thing you can do, excuse me, is freak out. Someone said, please do a collab with Xander Budnick. I would love to. One of these days we will. Xander has gone from, he did a trip to Nunavut, and he was home for like 1 week, did a one or two nighter, and then flew down to Panama, did that survival video, and then up to Nunavut again.
Oh my God.
He had like a 60 degree temperature change at least in 24 hours. But my point being is it's hard to keep track of that guy. He's killing it. Oh, McConaughey. Of course I remember you, dude. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I have a question about gear for your 11-day solo trip specifically. On a long trip, how did you manage battery life? So for that trip, first of all, for my camera, I have 7 batteries for it. So right there, like that was like quite a bit of battery power. But I have those, I don't think actually, I think they're all at my parents' place, but I have those like battery packs like this. I don't exactly know the wattage on them. But I think I had like for the like portable power banks, like whatever you like, I feel like they're pretty common. I had about 4 of those. Um, like on that trip, I had like 6 or 7 pounds of just batteries, which is a lot of weight on those trips. Um, but I was able to stretch those. Like I think I could stretch those 7 batteries for 3 or 4 days if I was like really being careful with it. And then I got to I think for the last day or two, it's cool with my drone. My drone batteries have like a little like charging, like whatever charging thing that they sit in. That actually has a USB-C outlet where you can take or you can take juice from the drone batteries as well. So I think I was topping up my phone with the drone batteries by the end of that trip. But yeah, that's always been a big struggle for me um, with just battery power on these longer trips. I'm still trying to like dial in that kit. From what you can remember, what had you in love with the idea of being alone in the wilderness? For me, no way. Wesley Minnie. For me, it was reading Hatchet in the Hatchet back in 6th grade. Sorry, there's a siren going by me here. That is so cool because Hatchet is what inspired me as well. I read it in 6th grade and I became obsessed. I read like the other 2 books that followed that book, and then that's always just been like a fantasy of mine to go not be in like a plane crash survival situation, but the imagery in that book of just him like waking up in the morning and just like mist on the water, going to catch a fish and stuff like that. Like, even though he was in this like death threatening situation, it sounded super beautiful. And I remember when I was a little kid, after reading that book, I wanted there to be a movie about it so bad. And I think there is one that's like based loosely on it, but it's kind of like a cheaper production. But I remember being a little kid going like, oh, one of these days I want to make a movie about that book. And I guess like I'm not at that level yet where I'm making that movie based on that book, but like I think my YouTube channel is very much coming from that place of just trying to capture like a situation similar to the beautiful parts of what that guy dealt with in that book. And I actually read Hatchet very recently, like within the last year, just for fun. I love that book so much. So I'm getting stoked here. Yeah, Boyzinda Hood, my buddy from high school here says, how do you secure your tripod in your canoe? I don't have any of them on me, but it's those I've mentioned them in a video before. They're those rubber twist ties. So it's like kind of there's like a metal wire in it and it's rubber, and you like I literally just like twist tie that onto the yoke. And that's been working for me so far. Oh, Hallie's here. Hello, Hallie. Gary is still waiting on a boys trip with the crew. I'll talk to my dad about that. We'll get something going. Thanks, Makani. Oh yeah. Wesley says, appreciate you for taking the time to run the stream longer than intended. I'm just having a lot of fun here. Like I wasn't expecting this many people here. This is I just want to say thank you to everyone for showing up. This is awesome. I'm having a blast. Yeah, Super Good Camping says you don't take a solar panel to recharge your batteries. I find actually one of my battery packs actually has like it's like this big and it's got solar panels built into it, but it's not great. It's not like it doesn't actually charge the battery pack fully. I do have those big solar panels that I got from Blue Eddy. I've got that Blue Eddy battery pack. but that thing's like 25 pounds. I wouldn't be bringing that on a multi-day trip. And then the solar panel itself too is like close to 10 pounds. So that's just way too much weight for me. For portaging, I know when like Lost Lakes did when they did that lap of Lake Nipigon, they did a 22-day trip with no portages. They brought like a big battery pack, whatever it was. I don't think it was a Blue Eddy. It was something like that. But they brought like solar panels and like they basically had a power bank with them the entire time. But you just can't really do that for portage trips.
I went to get water, but I came back with chocolate if you want some.
Sure. Take some chocolate.
I hate when water turns into chocolate.
Good day from Australia. Thank you so much for the videos, Ben. Our family loves watching them. Oh man. Thanks for watching. That's cool. I've got family in Australia. Yeah, super good camping says you can lay the solar panels on the canoe and charge the power banks. I know. Yeah, I've seen Jim Baird does that too. Maybe I do have to figure out a better system for what I do.
This is a good question. How did you mentally prepare for Diablo portage? Before you say this, he had known about it, and I remember you first showed me, I think it was Xander's video of him doing it maybe a year or two ago. I don't know when he released it. And I remember you being nervous, and I remember before you left on the drive, that was the only concern of yours.
On the drive, I was like thinking about Diablo. Yeah. Honestly, how did I mentally prepare? Like Diablo's portage, for anyone who doesn't know, like that's that big portage on the Steel River Loop in my 11-day video. And a lot of people call that like the hardest portage in Ontario. And
it looked crazy.
Yeah, it was super challenging. I'm not acting like it was easy. But it's funny, like for like months leading up to it, I was like in the gym, like with like the squat rack with like the weight on my back, just being like, okay, gotta be ready for Diablo. Like that like kind of like fueled me.
Even when we'd get groceries, he was like, we'd walk home. He wanted to carry all groceries because he's like, I have to do farmers carries.
Yeah, so by the time I got to that trip, like I felt like I was still intimidated, but like I was glass bowl
ASMR, I know.
Yeah, I wanted to be ready, and I felt that, like when I finally got there, I was like I had prepared for the moment. Side note from that, Beauty of the Backcountry, Jay and Sherry did that. So I did it in July, and they did it that June. And Jay had like an even crazier goal. He wanted to do it in one trip. So I
love Jay and Sherry.
Oh yeah, they're just like amazing people. Yeah, I missed it, but was Sherry here too?
No, sorry, just Jay.
But Jay wanted to do it in one trip. So I did it like in like 4 trips. I had like my full food barrel, I had my full pack, I had my canoe, I had all my camera gear. And Jay started at the start and finished at the finish. And like I'm not even sure if he said he took any breaks.
Oh my god.
They packed a little bit lighter, but he's like he's a different beast for that.
Do we have any pets? No.
Oh yeah. No, we don't have any pets. What camera do you use? Okay, so this is a question that I have been meaning to get to. So for all of my videos, up until this point, I've used a Nikon D5600. It's a pretty basic, it's like entry-level DSLR. It's still a good camera, but it's not anything special. It doesn't even film 4K. So I've been
Emily. Yeah, BC does want him in it.
And it's so up until this point, I've I've been filming in 1080p, but I've been posting the videos in 4K because of the drone shots, and actually my GoPro films 4K as well. But all of the videos are all in 1080p, and it even just YouTube shows that it's 4K. But a couple weeks ago, just picked up this bad boy, and this is a Lumix S5. So this is my new camera, and this is a super capable camera. It shoots 4K. It does like it does everything. And I haven't even like taken this out yet. So like I've done a few like videography gigs with it and stuff now, and I'm loving it, but I haven't taken this on a trip yet. So I don't want to like oh yeah, thanks, man. I don't want to set expectations too high, but these next few videos are going to be like the highest quality yet. And this also just has capabilities that my old camera just did not have. So I'm really looking forward to testing it out with like astrophotography, like night shots and time lapses and all kinds of different stuff. It also has it came, the guy I bought it off of had put this cage on it. Dropping chocolate chips. Sorry. He had this cage on it. So this is a protective cage, but it also has mounts. So I can put my mic on it here, but it has multiple mounts. So I can also put a light on it.
He attached that? That didn't come, it wasn't like that on its own? Like you put this on?
Yeah, he put this on and he sold it to me with the bundle.
That's amazing.
So I can, for the first time ever, I'm going to be able to mount a light on my camera, which might not seem like a big deal to you guys, but for me, like I've literally like tied flashlights to trees with paracord just so I can like light up my face for the shot. So this is just this camera is going to make my life so much easier.
How does it compare to your last one in terms of weight, would you say?
Weight? It's a bit heavier for sure. Yeah. It's but it doesn't matter. Like I would, for the capabilities that it has, like I would bring a camera that was 6 pounds.
Oh yeah, it's so worth it. Tripod, you rocking.
And my tripod, I have the it's a higher end Cameron tripod. I don't know the exact model. It's I don't have it here with me right now, but I felt a little, when I bought my tripod, I felt a little bit uncomfortable with like spending a bit more money than I wanted to. I think it was around $300, which is actually not that expensive in terms of tripods. But for what I do, like just having the tripod out there in the bush, like especially sometimes if it's attached to the pack or whatever, like I wanted like the toughest of tough tripod. So I think it's like carbon fiber, which and there's definitely some metal components on it too. But I didn't spare any expenses with the tripod because I wanted it to last, and so far it's done great for me. No, I did not grow up in the Toronto area. Well, kind of. Depends on who you ask. I'm from Newmarket, Ontario, so about an hour north of Toronto. 3 hours during rush hour.
Yeah.
Someone, I just want to comment on this guy Paul said, loving the fresh lineup of YouTube trippers, such positive content, no questions, just saying thanks. Thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot. Someone says, do you use a polarizing filter? I do not, but I'm gonna look into it. I know Evan does. I think that has like a daytime filter, and I think it really adds the quality to the shot, but I don't really know too much about them. Someone said, what do you think about Romania? Like, if we're talking the country, all I know about Romania is I went to elementary school with a girl from Romania, and she always talked about how beautiful of a country it is. So that's what I think about it.
Where's the next big adventure? Can you say? Or maybe not?
I'm going to Romania, guys. No. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the exact location just yet. I'll Also because, well, it's kind of, it is set in stone, but I will say it is likely looking like I'm going to be meeting up with Tosh Self-Propelled, and we are going to be doing a whitewater river that flows into Lake Superior, and then we're going to be paddling along the coast.
Also, Emily, I have a bowl of chocolate chips in here, and I'm not even kidding. I thought of you when I poured them in here, so I manifested you.
Yep. Anyways, enough about chocolate chips. But yeah, we're gonna do a super remote whitewater river. Okay, here's what I'll say about it. We're gonna do a super remote whitewater river that flows into Lake Superior. Then we're gonna paddle along the coast, but it's not the Puckasaw River. We're not going to Puckasaw. And that's all I'll say about that.
Nice.
I'm gonna see if I can't knock off some of these questions from Instagram. Favorite piece of practical gear that I own? Gosh, practical gear. Well, my first thing that comes to mind is my my fishing reel. I love my fishing rod and reel. I've got an ugly stick. For those who know, an ugly stick is the most durable fishing rod ever. And I've I've done everything. Like I've slammed that thing in car doors by accident, and and it's held up. What are your thoughts on fly-in paddle trips? I think they're awesome. I would love to do one. Like I would love to be flown into remote Wabakimi or something like that. But unfortunately, just right now where I'm at, it's way out of my price range. I think for even like the cheapest fly-in trips, like you're at least $1,000 or a couple thousand. Emily, I can't wait to have you here eating chocolate chips.
I know. Literally, she'll be here in like 4 days.
Who are my favorite YouTubers? Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think. Well, I'll list off a couple like camping YouTubers that I like. But I'm not sure. Oh. Gotta give respect to where it's owed. Am I speaking English?
No.
First and foremost, my good buddy Xander Budnick. He's killing it on the YouTube camping game. I love watching Lost Lakes. I love watching Northern Scavenger. Explore the Backcountry is another good one. Gosh, there's basically all these guys. Freak of Nature. My buddy Evan LaFive has got some great camping videos and general whitewater stuff. These are, I'm trying to think of like people who I watch who aren't in the camping genre too.
Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn's not he's just a comedian. But I think like I grew up watching Canoe the North is they're one of my favorites as well. So, like unmatched cinematography there. And I grew up watching like a lot of actually more fishing YouTubers. So I don't know if anyone knows the Guggen Squad or like John B, like AP Bassin. Like I used to love watching those guys. And then like I've always been into YouTube, so like a lot of like classic guys like Casey Neistat used to, and along with him Peter McKinnon is a great YouTuber, and that's cool because he's actually from Newmarket where I'm from, and like he actually had like an office on the main street there. No longer now. I think he's in LA or New York or something now. He's made it big time, but Paddleheads, Dennis's show, that's Canoe Hounds, super good camping podcast I love.
You watch like only camping stuff.
Yeah, like I watch like pretty much any camping YouTube channel. I've seen at least a couple of their videos. Another good one is Tailwinds North. I watch them at there's there's Xander. Tips for mustache maintenance. You're asking the wrong guy. I've been growing this out for my entire life. I think since I've grown the mustache, I've shaved it twice, I think, eh? And that's it.
Yeah.
And then
he looks really good with a mustache. But you have
Outdoor Boys, yeah. Sorry, there's another one.
You have mustache scissors that you use.
Yep. So every like month or two, I'll just have to like trim it up so it's not like folding over my lip. Thanks, Xander. I've never heard of Scotty's Gone. Scotty's Gone Walkabout. No, I haven't heard of him. Joe Robinette again. Oh, he was like the one that really got me into it back in the day. Like watching him, I never thought that I would have a YouTube channel. I just thought that he was really cool. And it's so cool. Like now, like in one of my more recent videos, we did that like group meetup camp out trip, and like I got to go out there with Joe Robin and Xander too, and a bunch of other awesome people, and like it's just so crazy to be in this world now. People who I essentially grew up watching, and I'm like seeing them in person. Oh yes, Harmon Hoek or Hoke. I would love to see that dude come and do like a canoe trip in Ontario. And his videos, he does. I've shown you a few of them. He does like mountain climbing and like desert expeditions and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
And he doesn't really talk in his videos, but like some of the best filming I've ever seen. Harmon is doing a BC trip. Nice.
You should do a BC video.
Oh, okay. Evan says, Ben, did you find anything more about about your possible relative that taught Survivorman? So thanks for bringing this up. So when I did that, my last video, I made this like shelter, like bushcraft shelter out of sticks. And someone had commented on it saying, hey, like this might be a long shot, but excuse me, any chance like one of your dad or your grandfather, like were they big on bushcraft survival forums back in the day, like 15 years ago? And like I responded saying, not that I know of, like especially like since I'm so into it, I think that I would have known that if my dad or my grandpa, unfortunately my grandpa's no longer around. And my dad saw that comment and he looked this guy up. Yeah, this is a story.
Yeah.
I'll try and make it quick, but this is really interesting. This is like super interesting. You gotta listen. No,
guys, tune in.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. No, so my dad saw that comment and he said, there's this guy, Alan Beauchamp, and he was like, he's still like very relevant, I think. But like a little while ago, like sorry, I'm trying not to read the comments as I'm talking. Don't react. This guy was like a survival expert. He like taught survival skills in the Canadian military for 15 years, and he's even on IMBD listed as a survival consultant for the show Survivorman. Like he worked alongside Les Stroud, and like I guess like taught him some stuff. And it turns out this dude is like, just so happens to be my second cousin or something like that. And my dad knows his dad. So I think it's my grandpa is cousins with his dad or something like that. But I've basically been trying to track this guy down. And the more I look him up, he like a video popped up where Joe Robinette was on Canoe Hounds, and he's talking about this survival expert, Alan Beauchamp. And like I remember, like I must have not seen that episode back in the day when that one came out, because that Canoe Hound episode was a few years old. Because I would have flipped if I had heard my own last name, and I would have like done a deep dive on this guy. So If anyone knows Alan Beauchamp personally, tell him to send me a message because I messaged him on Instagram, but I don't think he's like too active.
How old is he? Do you know?
He's like middle age, probably 40s or 50s. But he I think what I'm gonna do, I think my dad's gonna try and reach out to his sister on Facebook and connect those dots.
Nice.
Because that would be really cool if like yeah, there's my dad, Alan Beauchamp, and his dad and my grandpa are cousins. And they were close. Yeah, they were.
So maybe that's your third cousin.
I don't exactly know how it works.
Me either.
But that would be so cool. I'm not super concerned about like getting out camping with this guy or whatever. I just want to meet him or even just send a few messages back and forth just to connect. But it would be wicked to get this guy out and like do a trip together and just like be around that energy of like if he's as much of an expert as everyone's saying he is, like that would just be wicked. And we're blood too. Like that's just yeah, like that's just so cool. Like it kind of it just makes sense for me. Xander's asking more survival videos. Definitely. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit them in the near future because I've got a lot of fun canoe trips planned. But we'll see. Maybe I'll squeeze one in. I had plans to do like a no food challenge right before taking off for this 8-day trip that I have planned. And I was like, nah, like I'm not gonna starve myself before a big canoe trip. And I can't rely that much on the fishing skills. Did you know there is a budget way into Wabakimi where you don't need a shuttle? Interesting. I've been messing around with some Wabakimi plans potentially. I don't like very, very loosely. I'm not saying that I have a Wabakimi trip planned, but I was looking at doing it without a shuttle where I was going to try and like hide a bicycle in the woods somewhere and like drop it off and then move my car to the starting point and then essentially bike back to my car when I'm done the trip.
Oh my God.
What are people saying here? Ben versus Xander survival video. Yo, did you see this guy in Panama?
I was gonna say Ben would die.
yeah. I would be paying Xander for some coconuts. Trevor, that means your granddad, Ben's great granddad, must have been the ultimate survivalist. It's in the blood. I love it. Would I ever do
Uncle Alan threatened me with his belt? Who's Alan? The guy that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the survival. Okay. Actually, I hope that's not too serious, Mark. Well, anyways, Wesley says, "Would you ever do a 21-day challenge on Crown land, fish, forage, possibly do some small game hunting?" Yeah, like I don't think that's out of the question. I think right now that's kind of a lot. Like, I'm mainly just trying to like. There's so many fun like canoe routes that I want to do. Maybe that's a bit selfish of me. Well, not really. It's my channel. I call the shots. But like, there's so much I want to do before I take on like some crazy survival challenges like that. But I'm not saying it's out of the question. I will say 21 days is a long time without food, unless you can really rely on fish. Or the tough thing too is like with if it was in hunting season, depending on what you're hunting, sometimes like the fishing season doesn't always overlap with the hunting season, depending on what species are in the area or what you're going after. But yeah, I feel like I'm very much still starting out with all this kind of stuff. So like I plan on doing this for a very, very long time. I will get to doing some like crazier and crazier challenges and all that kind of stuff. Are you planning to ruin that stash with a goatee?
You've done it. He's done a goatee before.
Yeah.
Well,
the tripping season is coming up, and I'm not bringing a razor.
I know. I won't see him for like over a month. So sometimes he comes back with a new face.
What's better over a fire, marshmallows or hot dogs? Hot dogs all the way. Right.
Ooh.
Hate to say it, I'm not a huge fan of marshmallows. They're just like too messy.
I saw someone roast pierogies over the fire.
Mm.
That'd be good.
It'd be good. We always used to do spider dogs where you like cut the ends of the hot dog and they like kind of like curl out like a spider. Will you ever do any canoe trips with the Little North? I recognize that name, but I'm not super familiar with them. That's a channel? The Little North. Spider dogs for the win. Let's see here. Someone asked me if I'm thinking about doing a canoe trip in northern Saskatchewan. And that's another one where it's like, gosh, there's so much there's so much that I want to do, right? So like one of these days I'm definitely going to find myself out in northern Saskatchewan, but I don't have anything planned out there just yet. Yeah, Xander's saying, sorry, I missed most of the it's being blocked for me. Sorry, I missed most of this. What trips you got going this summer? So I guess I'll talk like a little bit about I haven't like specified exactly the trips that I'm gonna do. But I will dive into it a little bit here. So beginning of May, meeting up with Tosh and we're gonna do a Superior trip. We're gonna do a river that runs into Superior, which I'm not gonna say anything more than that. They can spill the beans. But I did say about that we're not doing the Puckasaw River. We found something different. We were aiming to do the Puck, but our time frame for it is like beginning of May, so like May 3rd is when we're trying to go, and Puckasaw doesn't open until May 15th. So then after that, so I guess I do want to dive into it a little bit here. So in May, we can I go into like detail?
This is your channel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we're in May, like we're subletting our apartment.
What our situation? Oh yeah.
We're taking off, and we've got someone who's going to be living in our apartment and paying our rent. She's doing music stuff. Like you are going out. Can you say that to go out?
I might be going to Nashville.
We're going to Nashville, but you also have a gig out in.
Oh, I have a gig in BC, but that's like later in the summer.
Yeah, so we're so I'm taking off camping and I'm gonna do at least 3, maybe 4 trips back to back without coming home. I'm just gonna be out there the whole time. There might be a night or two where I if I'm really feeling it, I'll treat myself to a hotel room, but I'm doing this Whitewater River with Tosh the first week, and then we're gonna part ways. I'm probably gonna go and spend some time on some crown land in that area around the North Shore. I've been looking at maybe some lakes around the Chapleau area because it's a
no shower.
No shower. No, you don't need a shower. I guess, yeah, and Xander missed the part too where I said I'll be packing 1 pair of underwear for a 30-day trip.
You don't need more than that.
No. But yeah, I'm looking at some crown land lakes around that area. And then that will bring me to about like midway through May. And at that time, my dad he has an annual spring trip up at this cabin where I've filmed a few videos at before. So he's going to be passing through that area. So I said to him, like, hey, like, why don't I hop in with you? We'll shuttle my car out to some spot. And I'm going to hop in with him, head up to the cabin. I think hopefully my brother can come too. And we're going to do like a little like boys fishing weekend and stuff like that. I think they'll be staying there for longer than me. But my dad's going to shuttle me out to another area, which I don't want to say yet because it's not set in stone yet. So I don't want to make any loose promises. But I'm basically, the plan right now is that my dad's going to shuttle me out and I'm going to canoe back to my car where we leave it. And so that will bring me to the beginning of June.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so stoked. Like it's like May is going to be all canoe tripping, and some of the craziest trips I've ever done. But the only downside to this is that I probably won't have a video out until like mid-June. But then once we're at that point, though, it's going to be like boom, boom, boom. Like there's going to be so many cool videos coming out of this.
That's just May.
Yeah, and that's just May. So then, yeah, I guess okay. So then June, I'm gonna be editing a lot, so I'll mainly be home. I might do like a weekend or two maybe, just out, like maybe just to get out. I don't probably nowhere like crazy. And then in July, her and I are heading out to like northern Minnesota. So we're doing like a road trip out there. Her cousin's got a wedding out there. And so I decided like, okay, well, we're not going all the way out there without strapping the canoe to the roof. So basically, again, this is a very loose plan. But we are, oh yeah, Evan's asking if I'm going to be at Palmer Rapids in June. Probably. Yeah. Most likely. You can, it won't be hard to sway me to get out there. But so we're driving out, like we're going to probably go north along the North Shore. And maybe just for fun along the way, we might do like a car camp at Hattie's Cove in Puckasaw. And probably spend 2 nights there so that we get a full day there. But I don't think I'm probably not going to do any videos from that. That's like, that'll just be for us. And then then we're going to the wedding in northern Minnesota. Then she's going to head home with her family, and I'm taking off from there. So that, like in that area, I'm going to be like an hour from Quetico. I'm going to be like 4 hours from Wabakimi and like 6 hours from Woodland Caribou. So I'm still trying to decide like what my best route is or where I want to go, but it will be one of those big three probably in northwestern Ontario. And the more I'm thinking about it, I think I'm leaning more towards Woodland Caribou. Maybe if anyone wants to drop their opinions about Wabakimi or Woodland Caribou or Quetico, or what's better or what you want to see me do. But yeah, Melanie's saying the blood vein. Like I'm really thinking about it. Not sure yet. So don't have expectations for this. But at that time, like mid-July, do all three. Yeah.
May as well.
Yeah. But yeah, really feeling the blood vein. Oh yeah, Xander. How long are you thinking of for your longest trip? I have about. Okay, wait. When's the wedding?
Which one?
Amy's.
That's second weekend of July, I think.
So.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay, wait. I think around 15 days. I think I have.
But then I feel like the ones that you're doing in May, even though they're separate trips, you kind of don't really have, like you might have a couple days in between.
Yeah. No, but for that long trip, so my July trip, so here's the time frame. So I'm leaving on that 14th of July for that trip. So, but the thing with these trips too, like way out there, is that you have to factor in drive time as well. Like there's at least like 2 days worth of driving, unless maybe I'll get like a 6-pack of Red Bull and just straight shot it. That's not ideal. But I think from July 14th until beginning of August, because Pedro's birthday is August 5th. So I want to be back for that at least.
Aww, that's kind.
And sorry, not to forget anyone. My dad's birthday is July 30th. So, and he has never let me live it down that I was on the Steel River for his last birthday. So I'm trying to make it back for that, but I'm sure he'll understand if I'm doing another lifetime trip. But yeah, probably like 15 days, maybe more.
What about the one in August?
I haven't really planned anything for August just yet.
Because we're gone the second weekend.
Yeah, so then we have another wedding in Timmins in August. So same thing, I'm gonna bring my canoe. And I'm not really sure like what I want to do there yet. My dad's from Kapuskasing, and like that's where my grandparents lived. I've talked so much about this. And so like there are some spots that like I grew up going to around Kapuskasing that I haven't been to in like half a decade now. And so I always really want to like I always think about going back to some of those spots now and like exploring in a canoe. And so I don't really know what I want to do with that, but I feel like there's a lot of story that I could tell going back to some of those old spots. Unfortunately, it's kind of heartbreaking. The camp that my grandparents had, I think the new owners have I think they might have torn it down. But I always had it in my mind that I would like canoe back to this remote camp that they had. But I think that might be off the table now. But yeah, August will be in Timmins for that wedding. So I might actually link up with Brad Jennings. We might do something with Brad and Leah up there. He said when you're in Timmins, make sure to send him a message. So I don't know if we're going to do a trip or just meet up for a coffee or something. But Mississinapi is on my list for sure. I'm not. I don't have anything planned for this summer, but I will definitely do the Mississinapi one day. That's one of like those historic, iconic rivers in Ontario. And then my dad says he forgives me for missing his birthday because of the wolf.
Wait, also, did you miss?
Yeah, I saw the wolf. That wolf that I saw on the Steel River was on my dad's birthday. That was cool. What did you say?
You missed his birthday the year before too, because.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that for?
Reed.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a different story. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I assume this might be. Well, I think this is Jay. It might be Sherry, or maybe both of them there from Beauty of the Backcountry. We were talking about our North Shore road trip, and we literally factored in a day to stop in the Sioux. Both of us. Nice.
Aww.
Nice. I'm just gonna pee really quick.
Okay.
Maybe play a song.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I'll dance or something. Yeah, I just saw Jay in Toronto last week, I think it was. He came to play and it was really good. Also, this is weird. I don't know what to do. But yeah, Ben's gone a lot this summer. And fall as well. Except I don't know what he has planned. I just know that a lot of September and October he wants to be out there. Tell us secrets about Ben. Ooh, well, what should I say? Ben doesn't talk about this, but he is an amazing guitar player. And these are some of his guitars up here. And he doesn't ever say this, but a lot of the music in his videos, especially his earlier ones, is him. He wrote all of the music and he doesn't tell people about that. I think he started using copyright free stuff the last like 5 videos, but everything before is all him. So he doesn't say that. Finally a moment with the real star of this live stream. That's right. Sorry, I was just like saying stuff about you. So humble. That's awesome.
Good things?
No, really bad things. Do you go by your name when performing? I do. My name is unique enough that I feel like I don't really. Petra's like, I don't know any other Petra. I met one Petra, but that's about it. But my last name is too basic that I think I don't need it. He definitely is talented. He's multi-talented. He's like good at everything. Also, if we are ever in an apocalypse, I'm fine because he'll save us. And best fisherman I've ever met. This guy,
Oh, come on.
oh no, like I was vegan until I met him. No, I'm still vegan, but I eat fish now. No, he's good. I was telling them that you don't tell people, but in most of your videos, all of the music is you. All of the
Oh,
guitar.
it used to be.
And then
Yeah,
I said the last few you
Yeah.
have copyright free music. But yeah.
Yeah.
He loves the guitar. He's so yeah, he
Oh,
also
thanks, babe.
I forgot about this. When he asked me to be his girlfriend, he wrote me a song.
What does that say?
What are the big goals for you in YouTube?
Oh, good one. I don't know. See, like the thing is, like a goal, like I obviously my goal is to get to the point where I'm like making a living doing this. But and it can be challenging at times where it feels like, oh, like this is it's tough or whatever, or I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is like I do really, really, really love that, like the journey of it, of without trying to be too cheesy, where it's not about the destination. Like I love just trying to explore as many new places as possible, and really trying to improve my own like storytelling skills and videography skills. I think my big goal, maybe like more immediately, is just to get enough traction on YouTube to just basically get these videos to pay for themselves. Like it's an investment for me every time. Like like it costs me money to make these videos, like when I'm driving all these places or whatever. And also like on longer trips, that's time that I have to take off work.
Also, you moving to Toronto as well.
Yeah, and then like
so expensive.
I don't want to get into like Toronto rent, but anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, I think like I would love to just get to the point where it's like this is what I'm doing, and yeah, like I don't know about like, yeah, maybe I should have like big goals set, but I think like for me, like I like the idea of that hustle not really like, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like let's say like when I if one day I get 1 million subscribers, I hope that I'm still in the mindset of like, okay, what's next? Like I don't want that to be like, okay, like I've got 1 million subscribers now, like job's done, like I can go retire or whatever. Like I always want to be like
when you get 1 mil, that's what Phoebe said.
I always want to try to be like pushing my own boundaries, and I think so. Not to ramble on too much about this, but I think for me, like my goal with YouTube is always just trying to grow as myself. Like I'm always just trying to become a better videographer and better outdoorsman. And I also just I love like hearing what people think of the videos too. Like it's especially like at the outdoor show, I got the chance to like talk to so many people that that was my first experience ever of people coming up to me and being like, dude, your videos are awesome. And like that was like I'm not doing this for views or for fans or whatever, but like to have people come up to me and be like, wow, what you created was, I think, is very awesome. Like that's mind blowing. Like that's like like I'm still like shook about that. And I love that so much. And I hope that like these videos can inspire just like one person to go out there and go try it out for themselves. Like I just think that that's so cool. And one thing that I've always thought with YouTube, getting back to the original question, is what's my big goal with YouTube, is that I'm just gonna keep trying to do the best that I can in making these videos and just trying to always improve. But I'm kind of in love with the idea of not really knowing where it's going to take me. So my goal is to blow up, get 1 million subscribers, but who knows if in 10 years or even sooner, if in 2 years, these videos or this channel has taken me to a place where what's like something that's different than maybe could be different than YouTube altogether. Maybe it doesn't even exist yet. Like
a Nat Geo thing.
Yeah, or whatever. Like I'm like guiding trips or something like that. Who knows? I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that that's what I want to do, but I just think that if you continue to like chase something that you love and continue to try to do your best with it, like good things are going to come to you. So yeah, the goal, I want to make money on YouTube, but also like just it's at the end of the day, like I love the idea of just capturing these videos to show to my grandkids one day. I just want to keep making them better and better. But thanks, Sander. Yeah, I love that question. Sorry, I totally went on a tangent there, but yeah, thanks, man. That means a lot. Let's see here. No, we're flying in now.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, are you? Oh, he's coming back from Xander's coming back from none of it, I think.
Oh wow.
I could be wrong. Thanks for tuning in, man. Cheers. Okay, let's see here. Your videos capture your excitement, which is infectious. Thank you, Melanie. What species of fish was your personal best catch? Like biggest, I caught some pretty big pike last summer. It was like at least like a 35 or 36 incher. I've caught a sturgeon by accident, well, in a walleye tournament, believe it or not. That was a pretty big one. At the time I thought it was like 300 pounds, but it was probably like 25 pounds. I caught a mahi once in Mexico. But yeah, I think probably the pike is probably one of the biggest. I've caught some like freaking 14-inch perch that were like huge. I've caught 2 muskie in my life, both kind of smaller ones. I've never caught like a real big walleye. Maybe my biggest walleye is probably like 25 or 26 inches. Let's see here. Thank you for all the positive comments here. Finn Connell. I can answer that one. When other 10-year-olds were inside playing video games, Ben was sneaking off into the bush with our DSLR. He wasn't supposed to touch. Oh, where was Finn's? Oh yeah. When did you start learning to film? Your cinematography is awesome. Thanks, Finn. Yeah, always just played with cameras. Like even I think when I was 8 years old, like my actually my parents and my cousin's parents got Megan and I our own little like point and shoots for our 8-year-old birthday.
Like film cameras?
No,
digital?
Digital, yeah.
Okay.
So we were like just messing around with those. I used to make like snowboard videos in my backyard on like Movie Maker. And making videos is just something I've always done just for fun. And then after high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And videos was just like I did a media program in college because that was like all that made sense to me. And to be honest, I didn't really want to do it at the time, but I'm so glad that I did. And it's helped me a lot. I learned a lot. And yeah. How do you find out about fishing tournaments? I think if you just like look up fishing tournaments in Northern Ontario, like I'm sure, or in Ontario, I'm sure they can pop up. But yeah, I used to fish the Kapuskasing River Walleye tournament with my dad, and it was a lot of fun. Like we had some real good days out there. We never like won, or we never did really well, but that was all about like, it was a 2-day tournament. So the Saturday, Sunday, but we would always go like a week early and do like a pre-fish. So that was always my favorite part, is just like tracking down like where the best spots are. And like, we studied this river like there's no tomorrow. And it was a lot of fun, but it got to a point where both my dad and I agreed that like, what we loved about it so much was just being together and fishing and like just having fun in the boat, and the competitiveness of the tournament just kind of took away from that. So we stopped fishing it, and we yeah, we just fish for fun now. It's so much better that way. I think that's it for our chocolate. Oh, a few more chocolate chips. Beauty of the Backcountry has 2 questions. Have you already been out for a spring camping trip? And can we get Petra a show in the area when you guys are up this way?
Ooh.
Jeez.
Maybe it might be tight for timing because I have a July 1st gig in BC, and I'm going to stay a few days after that, flying back here just to drive back out to the wedding with Ben. So if time permits, then that could be fun.
That would be wicked.
But regardless, though, like we need to jam or something.
Yeah, that would be fun. I don't know what you guys have cooking, but that would be fun if you got to go on stage with Jay.
Oh yeah, no, that's what we should do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
have I already been out for a spring camping trip? No, I have not. Nope. I'm in like mega planning mode right now for all these trips that are coming up, and I've just been working a ton. I'm trying to like set some money aside just to afford to do this, and while doing that, I've also just like been crazy busy. So all in like 1 week, I went out and stayed with Evan LaFive and his girlfriend Phoebe out in Ottawa. So we did. So I went and visited level 6 where I got my dry suit, and then we went to paddle.ca and I did all the outfitting for my canoe. And then with all my new gear, we went out and paddled 2 rivers that weekend. And then I was home for 1 day, came back to Newmarket, went to my parents' place, and then my dad and I took off. We went to Buffalo, New York. We saw a concert one night, and then we went and watched the Buffalo Sabres play the Washington Capitals. And then the next day came home, came to Toronto with Petra. We went out for a date night, night on the town. And then next day I woke up and took off to Windsor. And this is for anyone who's like listened from the beginning of this podcast. I was talking about this photo booth company that I'm working for. And we did an event in Windsor. It was like the Ford it's actually the 60th anniversary of the Ford Mustang. So they did this like huge, like 400 car meetup. And I was doing like a photo booth. So they actually drove their car through this like setup, and I was taking photos of the cars for them. And then back from Windsor to Toronto. So I went Ottawa, Newmarket, Buffalo, Toronto, Windsor, Toronto, and like, so no, I have not been out for a spring trip. That's basically what I'm trying to say here is I've been crazy busy and working a lot in between those times. All good things though. What about brook trout? I've not caught a ton of brook trout in my life. Just a few. My first brook trout was like, well, I caught one when I was like 13, but it was like tiny. And then I caught a couple last summer, but that's something I really want to get more into. I'll hopefully get some brookies in May. Wendy says, "Hi Ben, love your channel. Thank you."
Also, I'm gonna head out soon because I need to do some computer stuff.
Okay, I'm probably gonna wrap up here soon in a bit. But you don't have to hang out if you don't want to.
I'll hang out for a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. I love your channel. Feel confident that you will attain your goals. Thank you. So happy to see you back. I've been wondering where you went. You have what it takes for sure. Thanks a lot, Wendy. That's awesome. Awesome to hear. Bear spray or bear bangers? I have bear spray. I honestly stopped bringing it on trips. It just probably for longer solo trips, I'll still pack it, but when I'm out there with a group, like bear spray is just extra weight in my opinion. But don't take that advice from me. I'm not like preaching that. But just personally, I've found like I was never using the bear spray. I never had a reason to use it. If I've ever seen a bear, it just takes off the other way. But I think also bear spray is a good safe thing to have. Follow you too, Wendy Outdoors. You inspire me. Yes, Ben has. Oh, thank you guys. You ever fish Lake Simcoe since you're from Newmarket? Yeah, so we used to have a boat and we'd fish like Simcoe like almost every weekend in the summer. I love fishing Lake Simcoe. Quite a busy lake, especially compared to some of these backcountry lakes that I've gone to. But I've caught some of my biggest fish ever on Simcoe. So I got like a 5-pound smallmouth bass there, and I have caught gosh, my dad and my brother, we were out, we like laid into some jumbo perch. Like we caught like a couple like perch that were over a pound, which is pretty big for a perch. But yeah, I love Lake Simcoe. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Evan. Killing it in the ledge. That was a lot of fun. Hey, Jay Byrne. Super good camping. Do you think about your carbon footprint, considering how much travel you do? That's a good question. I try to there's I obviously think about the impact that I'm having on the environment. I try to do as much as I can to be as eco-friendly as possible. But I think it's tough to avoid. I don't have an electric car, but I think it's tough to avoid. I want to get to these places and like it's not like I'm Taylor Swift here, like doing like private jet
Well, I was gonna
100 times a
say,
year.
you've
But
probably been on like 2 planes in the last like what 5 years or something.
yeah, if that, I haven't been on a plane in a long time.
Well, when we went to BC, that's
Yeah.
2 ways, 2 flights. You only just really drive.
Yeah, I drive, and yeah, it's not like it's tough. I wish there was a better way to get around rather than like burning fuel, but that's just kind of, I guess, the era that we're in right now. I don't love it though. That even just the thought of that, it's kind of uncomfortable thinking about how much travel I do. I'll tell you what, I think about it when I'm gassing my car up for the 50th time.
Yeah. We're excited to see you guys, Jay and Sherry. I'm excited. I have only driven through Sault Ste. Marie, but I've never stopped. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys too. And thanks for being here too. That means a lot. Knocks on Woods. Great name, Knocks on Woods. Loved your Spanish video with Tosh. Gonna have to try it out. Yeah, let's go for it. Spanish River is like such a classic Ontario river. I think if you search up like best canoe routes in Ontario, I'm willing to bet Spanish is like one of the first ones that pops up. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be on here for too much longer. So if anyone has any more questions, I'm just looking to see if there are any questions we didn't cover. Oh my gosh. Okay, I missed this one. This is well, I don't actually know him. I'll call him my buddy Gavin. He's a Birch Pine on Instagram. I just kind of know him through social media. But this is a really riveting question that I think everyone should know. What is my favorite season to outdoor poop in? And when I saw this question, I instantly thought of the fall time because wintertime, obviously, it's just freezing to pull your pants down. And then summertime, you might think it's great, but you're overthinking the bugs, or you're not thinking about the bugs that crawl around in places that you don't want to have bugs crawling around. So as soon as like those bugs are gone, but it's still kind of like warm out, fall time, great pooping season. Anyways, the old growth forest on Spanish is amazing. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh, someone wanted me to talk about how bad the fishing is in northwestern Ontario. It's just, it's terrible out there. Yeah, you really shouldn't fish in northwestern Ontario. There's no huge fish in big numbers. What's your favorite vintage clothing page on Instagram? Probably gonna have to go with Hula Popper Vintage.
Oh.
With Kobe Sells Vintage as a close second. Mosquito bum bites.
Oh my god, yeah. Wait, I tuned out for a second. What was the season that you said?
Fall is the best season to poop in.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Springtime, it's just like a swarm of black flies on your.
Yeah. True, because at first I thought, oh, maybe winter time because you don't have to worry about bugs, but then it's too cold, you're uncomfortable.
Like, especially like, if you just like yeah, especially right in the morning when you wake up and you really have to go, and you have to like crawl out of your warm sleeping bag. Yeah, I think this is it for the questions on Instagram. A lot of them were just asking about how I plan
your trips.
The trips. Someone asked about my my 80s style, the 80s look that I'm rocking.
80s,
80s,
yeah,
a little kind of 80s, kind of just vintage in general. I would say like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s almost.
Yeah, he just looks like that.
Oh, thanks, Evan. What is going on here? I've never had this conversation with Pamela. Oh, about the poop season? Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, so I think just moving forward here, I'm gonna try my best. Maybe like mid-May when I'm at the cabin, I might be able to edit some videos to try and get them out like before June. And this is kind of a risk that's not a risk at all, but I am taking a step away from posting videos regularly on YouTube in order to kind of stockpile a bunch of epic videos. So it really sucks that I'm not going to have any content to post in that time, but at the same time, like if
it'll be worth it.
Yeah, it'll be worth it. And if everyone's okay with just being a bit patient for it, then I'm going to have like some really, really wicked videos. And I really, this year, like I've always put everything I've got into it, but this year I'm really going to try and make like some really cool, like just very cinematic. I want to make some cinematic, cool storytelling videos. And I don't think it'll be hard with the places that I'm planning on going to.
Love you guys. Love you, Jane Sherry. Yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Shannon.
Shannon, oh my god. Hey. Melanie, yeah. And I think I met you too at the outdoor show, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. It's like it honestly just it's hard to kind of put this into words. Like I don't want to like base my life around like viewers on my videos or like how many interactions my videos get, but like it at the same time, it literally means the world to me to just like have so many wonderful faces in here, like just like supporting me and like I can't help but be like just thank you so much, and that means a lot to me. It does it is everything to me. Just like every single one of you showing support here. Thank you.
Yeah, this community is strong.
Yeah, and yeah. My pleasure. This was a lot of fun. I think I'll probably do another live in a little while, maybe when I have some more updates. Thanks, Ethan. Can't wait to get out in the spring and start fishing. Me too. Me too.
Maybe if you have time, maybe we can do a trip together.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll give it like 2 more minutes for any other questions, and then I'm gonna take off. It's super good camping. Thank you guys. Yeah, I love that saying. No pressure, just do what you do. That means a lot to me, and that's what it's all about. Like I'm not. I'm just making these videos for me, but it's so sick that you guys are here to see them. Like, and oh yeah. Thank you, Beauty the Backcountry. Don't forget to hit like because it helps. Nice.
And if you're not subscribed to Ben already, subscribe to his channel.
Yeah. I think most of these folks have got to be subscribed. Thank you guys. Would I ever do a subscriber meetup? Yeah, definitely. Like down the road. That would be like super fun to the problem is that like I think a lot of subscribers are from a lot of different places. So it would probably mainly be like Ontario people, unless people are willing to fly in. But just as you said that, the first thing I thought of was to do like a big campfire, just like everyone like meet up at like a huge bonfire. Take a little bit of planning, but like that would be a lot of fun if I could just do like a big barbecue for everyone. I'm just grilling up burgers as a little thank you. But yeah, definitely sometime it'd be cool to do a subscriber meetup, open invite. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's about good. Oh, actually, I'll put my Instagram if anyone wants to connect on Instagram. And Petra's Instagram.
You're also watched from Brazil. That's awesome.
Nice. Maybe we'll do a Brazil subscriber meetup.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Oh yeah. And go check out Petra's Instagram as well.
Life goes on.
Thank you to everyone. Whoops. Oh, I'm liking. Sorry, I'm trying to
liking you.
Wait, hold on. Where's the? There it is.
Yeah, I can't. I always forget to not hum. I think it's a habit of mine.
Nice. All right. Thank you to everyone. If you're going out for any spring camping trips, please stay safe out there, and take it seriously. That cold water is no joke. And I should have some updates for everyone soon. All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Click on the stream. Yeah, there you go. La 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 la, life goes on. Beep.